It's Eddie's. Eddie World. What the heck is Eddie World?
I don't know. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Eddie World. It's a whole big old
Quarter
building.
mile. Merge onto I-15 North.
There's nothing like a drive through the desert in the winter or springtime. After a recent visit to Barstow and Calico, Sarah and I made our way to Pahrump, Nevada to visit her sister Shannon and brother-in-law Ken. Of course, I had in mind some places I wanted to check out. Our route took us to Highway 15 to Baker, California, where we stopped to see the world's tallest thermometer. It stands at 134 feet tall to commemorate the hottest temperature ever recorded in nearby Death Valley in 1913. It weighs over 76,000 pounds. You will find an electrical charging station at this site. Across the street a block or two away is this, a tourist trap with an outer space alien theme. Alien fresh jerky is a curious sight indeed, one that would fit in nicely with a video on Art Bell.
A space alien selling alien fresh jerky. Oh, scariest bunch of aliens I've ever seen take over a car. Interplanetary Galactic Federation Space Peace Patrol. Oh my gosh. Scariest bunch of people you ever saw. Well, they're not people, are they? And right here is a downed spacecraft. I don't know about you, but maybe his eyes are made out of rubber.
Then it was on to Highway 127 to Nye County, the largest county in Nevada, where we would spend 2 nights with Sarah's family.
So this is where we have come, where we've landed for a couple of days. We are at Sarah's sister's and brother-in-law's house in Pahrump, Nevada. And they have a really beautiful view over in this direction. It shows the hills that surround Pahrump Valley.
Our first night on the town took us to dinner at the Ocha Japanese Steakhouse, where I was seated next to a new friend named Dale from Winnemucca, Nevada. He was in Pahrump to help judge a weekend high school rodeo. Dale was quite the character.
Smile!
Did you feel the heat?
My cheeks red.
You got a redneck sitting at this table and never seen this.
You said that spicy? Spicy.
Baby, spicy, mom.
Hi, so welcome to another episode of History Hunters. I'm here in Pahrump, Nevada, here at a cemetery outside of town, and I found the grave of Art Bell. He was well known as a late night talk show host. He always talked about paranormal things. He talked about ghosts, UFOs, aliens, all things creepy. But he actually broadcast nightly, and we're going to go try to find his house where he had his studio. And there's still, I think, a satellite dish outside where he would beam his show all across the country. Art Bell, coast to coast. Art Bell passed away several years ago. He's buried right there. I'll show you his grave. There's the grave of Art Bell, Arthur William Bell III, 1945 to 2018, talk show host, father and friend in the night, whose voice shall be with us for all time. People left all kinds of little mementos. Folks left some money on top here, some quarters to remember him by. But check out the view he has. He's got these snow-capped peaks over 11,000 feet over there.
Arthur William Bell III was something of a cultural phenomenon. He was the founder and the original host of the paranormal-themed radio program Coast to Coast AM, which was syndicated on hundreds of radio stations in the U.S. and Canada.
From the high desert and the great American Southwest, I bid you all good evening or good morning as the case may be across all these many, many prolific time zones. From the Hawaiian and Tahitian island chains in the west, eastward, across flyover country to the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, Caribbean, where Montserrat continues to smoke and choke, into South America, north to the pole. This is Coast to Coast AM, the largest live overnight talk radio program in America. Isn't that amazing? I'm Art Bell.
He also created and hosted his companion show, Dreamland. In 2013, he named his nightly show Art Bell's Dark Matter on Sirius XM satellite radio. Art Bell was born June 17, 1945 in North Carolina and became interested in radio in his early teens. In the 1960s, Bell served in the Air Force for 4 years and was a medic during the Vietnam War. His radio career began when he was stationed at Amarillo Air Force Base in Texas and received permission to operate a pirate radio station. After leaving the military in 1966, Bell worked as a radio station disc jockey in the U.S. and in Okinawa, Japan. He eventually landed in Las Vegas at KDWN, where he met his third wife, Ramona, who later handled production and management duties for his program. His 1978 late-night Las Vegas program on KDWN was a political call-in show called West Coast AM. In 1988, Bell retooled the show, calling it Coast to Coast AM, and moved its broadcast from Las Vegas to Pahrump. Bell tapped into an appetite for strange and offbeat topics such as the paranormal, the occult, UFOs, ghosts, life after death, and pseudoscience. By 1997, Bell was America's highest-rated late-night radio talk show host with 15 million viewers on more than 500 radio stations. In the 1990s, Art Bell good-naturedly played on the theme of tinfoil hat conspiracy theories to make a TV commercial for the aluminum foil company Harris Teeter.
Now the Your Home brand. Well, there you have it. Harris Teeter's new Your Home brand of aluminum foil stops those pesky alien mind control waves as well as the leading brand. And it keeps your food fresh. Harris Teeter's Your Home brand. The difference is in the savings.
Because Pahrump is in Nye County, Bell told his listeners that he was broadcasting from the Kingdom of Nye. Because he didn't initially screen callers, he would occasionally get a nut job on the line.
What? The same pornographers that are creating that Star Trek are doing this as special
pornographers?
effects. This is
Pornographers did not create Star Trek. Why would Star Trek is one of my favorite programs.
It's pornographic. It's pornographic.
Star Trek?
Yes.
Star Trek is an icon of American science fiction. It is
part of the media pornography that is assaulting our nation. Captain Kirk who was he played by? A Canadian. A Canadian. William Shatner is a Canadian operative.
Operative?
That's correct.
Operative?
He's one of the Canadian subversives.
William Shatner is a spy for Canada?
The Canadians are in control of the media in this country.
Oh, my God.
That practice changed in 2006. Art Bell is buried next to his third wife of 15 years, Ramona Lee Hayes Bell, seen here when she and Art met country singer Crystal Gale. There's the grave of beloved wife Ramona Lee Hayes Bell, 1958 to 2006. He liked to marry his women a lot younger. My wife, my soulmate, my friend, my love, whose spirit remains in me with every breath I take. Art and Ramona met when they both worked together at Las Vegas radio station KDWN. She died of an asthma attack in her sleep on January 5th, 2006, while they were vacationing in Laughlin in their RV. She was just 47 years old. Just months after Ramona's death, Art began online dating a woman living in the Philippines. Her name was Erin, a college student 39 years his junior. He moved for a short time to the Philippines, where they married. He brought back his young bride to Pahrump, as she didn't initially know how famous her husband was.
Had you heard about Art before? Was he famous?
He told me.
He told you he was famous?
Yes,
but you never heard of him?
No. And it's like not a big deal for me. And then finally, when we were in Manila, then that's when I realized,
wait a second.
Okay.
The couple had a daughter named Asia and a son named Alexander. So here it is. This is the backside of Art Bell's former residence. Of course, he's passed away, but look at all the radio towers and such. I believe that he actually broadcast out of this building right here. So this is the back entrance to his place right here. I'm not sure what they do with this property anymore.
with after his death. But yeah, that's probably the building where he did his broadcasting from. And that's Art Bell's house right there. We're looking at it from the back of the house, the backyard. But that big satellite dish there is what beamed up his signal, his coast-to-coast nightly signal to the whole United States here from Pahrump, Nevada.
After my visit to the back of Bell's compound, I recognized this road was the same place where he took this well-publicized photo.
There's something about Pahrump, Nevada that I love, and the desert that I love. That I guess that never changes. I don't know. It's something in our air, it's something in our water, but we seem motivated to explore that which other people don't.
No, I think it was in 2015 he announced that he was going to stop broadcasting because somebody was harassing him, and at least they thought somebody was stalking him. Neighbors reported hearing gunshots, and he feared for his life. He thought, obviously somebody who was doing those kind of broadcasts, he's going to attract a lot of weird people. And that was the case. I mean, he would have people come out here, just strange people. It was never proven that somebody was trying to kill him, but he thought that was the case. So I'm not sure, but I think that was the end of his career on the radio. And then he passed away in 2018. So actually, this is just a desert road, and I'm going to walk over here to give you an idea of how remote this house is. Now, the reason that Art Bell died, it was here at this house on April 13th, and he was in a bedroom of the house here, and he was 72 years old. The coroner's office determined that he had 4 prescription meds in his system. One was oxycodone, hydrocodone, diazepam, or Valium, and I guess he just took too many drugs, and basically it shut his system down and contributed to his death. But he actually passed away in this house here. As you can see, there's no trespassing signs here. I don't know if there's any interest anymore of people getting in this compound, but I think it's cool that, somebody who made radio history was broadcasting right here.
A lifelong smoker, Bell was not in good health in his last years. On April 9th, 2018, Bell seemed in typical form on his Facebook page, writing, quote, "The FBI has just raided the office of the president's lawyer. This is pretty serious stuff. And I want to say again, if the hate of Trump continues to be manifested by investigating everything Trump has ever done, they will get him on something eventually. If you tear anybody's life apart and look at every little thing that they've ever done, you can get him," unquote. He died 4 days later of an accidental overdose of medications.
We're getting reports, and we have been over the last 30-some minutes, that Art Bell has died. I'm trying to get my composure here, folks. He was 72 years old.
Now, this is where Art Bell lived, and this is exactly where he was taking the video of himself flying a drone right from the spot right here. One of the last videos you ever will see of him. So right now, with this yapping dog barking across the street, I'm at the intersection of Adams and Dutch Ford Road here in Pahrump. And that radio station back there is KNYE. It's the radio station that Art Bell founded, I think back in the 70s or 80s. He established a lot of his radio programming from this place.
KNYE is still in operation and plays an eclectic mix of pop music most of its broadcast day. May 29, 2008, Art Bell sold his radio station to manager Karen Jackson for $600,000. About 10 years ago, the station changed its slogan from "Where Things Go Pahrump in the Night" to "The Big Voice of the Valley." While Bell was certainly interested in the paranormal, he expressly said that he didn't necessarily accept every claim made by a guest or caller, but only offered a forum where they would not be openly ridiculed. For example, in 1987, he remained skeptical about claims that the sounds of people screaming in hell were recorded in a deep well drilled in Siberia, but he played with it anyway.
About that 9-mile hole drill?
Yes.
Now look, I think that it's kind of silly. I'm not a geologist. In my opinion, if you drilled 9 miles down and you came to a pocket that was 2,000 degrees,
yes,
you're talking about molten rock.
Virtually, no.
I mean, I have an open mind, and which is one reason I enjoy your show.
You've got to admit what you heard. If you did hear it earlier, did you?
Yes, I did.
Pretty awful. Now, I've got a clean copy of it now, and I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Many who have analyzed the so-called Well to Hell recording have concluded that it's a looped and layered version of an audio clip from the 1972 movie Barren Blood.
That's it. I'll let you come to your own conclusions, as I usually do.
It's still 95.1 FM.
Bell was raised a Lutheran and was open to Jesus Christ being the Son of God, but wanted irrefutable proof in this call.
The man's name is Glenn Kimball. That's Kimball. He's authored 2 books, Hidden Stories of the Childhood of Jesus. If they slammed me up against the wall, Doctor, and they made me answer that question, I don't absolutely know it to be true, and this will surprise a lot of my audience. There are things that fly in our skies, Doctor, that are UFOs. I know that part for sure, because I've seen one. But do I know they contain little green guys, gray guys, or whatever, or military guys and they're our own craft? Could I state categorically that we're being visited from elsewhere? No, and I wouldn't. So I'm even skeptical about that. Frankly, I'm skeptical about anything that I can't wrap my hand around. And maybe before the night is over, you could help me wrap my hand around this. We'll see. Was Jesus Christ the Son of God, Big G?
That Jesus was, in fact, of unnatural, extraordinary origin, and that he, in fact, was, in fact, the Son of God, Big G.
I would like to examine macroscopically with you some of the things that would back that up. Would you be interested in pursuing that?
Absolutely delighted with you, Art.
So right now I'm in a cemetery in Pahrump, Nevada. It's called Tecopa Cemetery, and here to find the grave of a famous Paiute Indian chief by the name of Chief Tecopa. In fact, this entire cemetery is named after him. He's buried right there, right where that marker is. Nevada has these historical markers in the outline of the state of Nevada. This is one of them. And that's his grave, just a rounded pile of dirt and rock.
In November 1971, Nevada Governor Mike O'Callaghan called Tecopa a leader of vision and courage when he came to the gravesite to dedicate the state memorial marker. But aside from that, there is no grave marker other than the standard temporary marker that could easily be pulled out of the ground. Tecopa, who lived from 1850 to 1904, was a Native American leader whose name means wildcat. He is buried here next to his son and grandson. He was a leader of the southern Nevada tribe of the Paiute in the Ash Meadows and Pahrump areas.
I see that people have left all kinds of things here, mostly coins on top of this grave. Almost looks like a piece of, I don't know if that's obsidian or what. He's located here in the back of Chief Tecopa Cemetery.
Tecopa was a young man when the first European Americans came to southern Nevada, sometime around 1843. As the leader among the Paiutes, he enthusiastically fought for possession of their land and traditional way of life. Tecopa and his warriors engaged in a 3-day battle with the expedition of Kit Carson and John C. Fremont at Resting Springs, California. He later realized, however, that if his people were to survive and prosper, he would have to establish peace and live in harmony with the foreigners advancing in on their tribal land. So I'm standing at the grave, and if you look over towards the hills, you see this beautiful sight. And so if the chief were to pop out of the grave right now, he would look over and see McDonald's and the Pahrump Nugget marring the view. I'm sure it would freak him out. In his later years, Tecopa usually wore a bright red bandsuit with gold braid and a silk top hat. Whenever these wore out, the local white miners replaced them as a way of thanking him for his help in maintaining peaceful relations with the Paiute. The small town of Tecopa, California was named after the chief by a J.B. Osborne, an operator of a mining camp at the location. Remember Dale from the Japanese restaurant at the outset of this video? We decided to take him up on his invitation to check out the high school rodeo on Sunday. Those kids are a lot braver than we are.
Time for a little Pahrump rodeo.
This is Lane Bird working it for you.
So I hope that you enjoyed this episode of History Hunters, our little visit here to Pahrump, and I hope maybe if you hadn't heard anything about Art Bell, that maybe you would be interested in maybe listening on his broadcasts. I know there's some out there on Spotify, I understand. On the way out, if you could leave us a comment and hit the like button, we would appreciate that. Also, if you haven't subscribed to History Hunters, we would love to have you join our family of those who love history. Thank you so much.